Hello and welcome back to another video. So I am doing another what I've been playing video. I've been playing a fair few games since the last what I've been playing video that I put out. So yeah, let's just jump straight in. So a game that I wasn't even on my backlog. I'm not even sure what made me decide to play it. It was just on Game Pass and I was just in one of those moods where I just wanted to play a random little game. And that is Arcade Paradise. And I ended up putting 19 hours into this game, which I thought would be enough to beat it, but I still haven't actually beaten the game. It's quite a long old game. But effectively, it's like a sim game, sim management type game, but you also get to play all the arcade machines. So you're effectively someone that's running a laundrette and you're slowly turning that laundrette into an arcade. So you are earning money from the laundrette, buying arcade machines which you can play in the game, and then cycling that money through, buying more arcade machines which are earning you money, and then you expand it, put on new rooms, extends the laundrette, and then you eventually have like a massive arcade with all of the arcade machines. And I found the gameplay loop on this really fun because you are, at the start, it's quite heavily focused on actually running the laundrette, so you're literally having to go and put the washing in the machine, take it out, put it in the tumble dryer, pick up the trash and the litter and all that kind of stuff, which admittedly sounds quite boring, and it is quite boring, but it's got that hook that you get money for it, which you can then use to buy an arcade machine, and you don't have to do it for that long if you don't want to. And then yeah, once you buy an arcade machine, you'll earn revenue from that, and you have challenges on the arcade machine, like getting high scores or doing certain challenges within the game. And once you complete those challenges, that arcade machine will earn more money for you. So you've got an incentive to go in and play through the games. And all the games, well, not all, well, I think they all are. They're all based on classic arcade games. They don't have the licenses for them, but the developers have just recreated their own version of the game, which is basically identical. And I'd say a good 50% of the games I really enjoyed playing. The other 50% were fun to just have a little go on, but I didn't find that enjoyable. But there are a few that I really enjoyed playing. Yeah, and I put a lot of time into this game. It's one that I got a bit burnt out on after 19 hours. I was a bit like, okay, I've had enough. I did want to see the end, but I was getting to the stage where it was a bit of a grind, and I just thought that it wasn't worth it. But I think I haven't uninstalled it. I think it's one that I will go back to and just finish it off, because I haven't watched any footage of the ending or anything. So I am curious to see how it ends. I'm not expecting great storyline developments because it's just a little indie game, but I would like to finish it off. Then we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So I've done a review of this. It's on my channel. I thought it was a really, really good game. The title of my review was a surprisingly good game, and I was surprised by it because, from my experience, quite often the third game in a trilogy, a few exceptions, like The Witcher 3 is probably an exception, but tend to not be as good, in my opinion, a lot of the time as the second one. But this one I thought was really good. They developed they developed the gameplay quite well. There's quite a few new things you could do in the game. As I say, watch my review if you want more of an in-depth discussion. But I like the darker tone they went with. Lara Croft kind of goes a little bit Rambo in this game, which might not be to everyone's taste, but I think it fit the mood of the game really well. And yeah, it's just a really good, fun game. The tombs were amazing. I quite enjoyed the story. The graphics looked really good. It's a really fun game to play. Just all round a game I'd recommend. So I played through this game quite quickly. I think I played through this game in about a week, which is quite unusual for me to play through a reasonable length story game in a week these days. So yeah, really enjoyed my time with that one. Next up we have Battlefield Bad Company. So I noticed it's a game I've been wanting to replay for a while, so there's a bit of a story behind this game. This was one of the games, when I first bought my first Xbox 360, it came with this game, Battlefield Bad Company, and Fallout 3. So I have really fond, nostalgic memories of both of those games. Both of them I played to completion, and I played the hell out of Battlefield Bad Company online back in the day. So I have real strong nostalgic feelings for this game, and I have it physically up there somewhere. but it's on Game Pass with EA and stuff. So I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, let's give it a go. Let's just have kind of a bit of nostalgic run and just play through the campaign again. So I downloaded it. Admittedly, I'm not too far into it. I've done like the first kind of couple of hours. I'm enjoying it, but I have to say I'm not sure I'm gonna. It doesn't hold up. I have to say, like the gunplay in it does not. After being used to modern FPSs and things, the gunplay isn't astounding. What I do love though is the characters, the writing and the characters, the setting, all of that is incredible in this game. I love the comedy within this game. So I may go back to it and carry on playing through just to see the story out. And I was surprised actually how little I remembered. I have snippets of memory from the campaign playing it through the first time, but most of what I've played through I didn't actually really remember because it's been quite a while now. Well, maybe 15 years. So yeah, it's been a fair old time. But I may or may not go back to that. But it was good to go back in and have just a bit of a nostalgia. Next one, I was knocking off a few smaller games. So I went another one on Game Pass, and this was Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. So my main reason for playing this was just I think I just watched a YouTube video on quick Xbox Game Pass completions that are actually good. I didn't want just like an easy gamer score one that takes an hour. I wanted a game that's actually quite fun, but I just wanted a game that I could finish quite quickly because that's what I thought Arcade Paradise was going to be. And then 19 hours later, I still hadn't even bloody beaten the game. So I just wanted a quick game, and this only took about 3-4 hours. And this is really funny. It's very simple. You'll see from the gameplay, but it's like a old school Zelda top-down game, but very, very light on mechanics and things. But it's a comedy. It's just a comedy satire game of like those old school Zelda games and things. And it just takes the piss out of you the whole time and out of the other characters in the game itself. It's really well written, really funny. Don't expect huge amounts in terms of gameplay, but I just had a really fun time playing through this over a couple of nights. Had a few kind of laugh out loud moments just on some of the dialogue and things. And there are some bits where there's mild challenge, like a couple of the bosses and things. There's kind of a bit of mild challenge. I died a couple of times. But it really is just about playing through and just enjoying your time with the game. It looks really nice, and it plays smoothly. There's no kind of lag or stuttering or anything. So yeah, I had a good time with this. It's certainly worth playing through. If you're looking for a game that, if you're a bit burnt out on big, longer games and you just want a game that you can sit down and complete over a weekend or in a couple of evenings, or even in what you could complete this in one sitting if you have kind of 4 hours to spare, then I'd recommend giving this a go. Just go in with low expectations on the gameplay front and just do it as like a light-hearted kind of fun little gameplay session. After that we have Everspace 2. So this was in the build-up to Starfield. So I was very excited for Starfield, and I was kind of looking around for kind of those spacey type games, and this again was on Game Pass, so I thought, oh, why not fire this up and just give it a go. So I put the first 30 minutes out on my channel. There's a video if you want to see the early gameplay, and I played for about half an hour after that, so I put about an hour and a half into the game, and from what I saw, I really enjoyed it. The space, it's basically a space flying combat game where you mine for resources and things as well. I'm not far enough in to tell the whole kind of all of what the game has to offer, but there are upgrades and things you can do to your ship, so I think it's got some line of RPG elements and things as well. The only thing I was a little bit disappointed by was like I don't know if it changes later on, but I assume not. But all of like the story beats, the cutscenes and stuff, they're not cutscenes. They're just like pictures with dialogue over the top. Admittedly, very nice pictures, nice artwork, but it doesn't have the kind of fully animated cutscenes, which I assume is just a budgetary thing. I didn't really research the game too much or the developers or anything, so I don't know who the developer is, but I assume they're on a smaller budget. But yeah, it was really good. It's one of those I may well go back to at some point, but I was playing this and then Starfield came out and there was no way I was going to play this once Starfield came out, so spoilers for later in the video. But it's a very competent game from what I've played so far, and it is one that it kind of has been added to the backlog now to go back and play through. One of the things on this though is I haven't really been clearing stuff off my existing backlog. The only game I've played so far in this list that was on the backlog is Shadow of the Tomb Raider. All the others, I mean, Battle for Bad Company I've already completed. Arcade Paradise and Turnip Boy were new games that were just kind of done on a whim, and Everspace 2 similar as well. So I am making a concerted effort now that I've played Starfield, which I'll talk about in a bit, to get back to clearing some actual backlog games. But yeah, next up, I was having a bit of a period of just trying different genres of games. So a genre I haven't played in years and years and years and years, which I used to play all the time, is RTSs, real-time strategies. So when I used to play on PC when I was living at home like a teenager, I used to play like Red Alert, Command and Conquer, Cossacks, if anyone knows that game, like a medieval style RTS, Total Annihilation, Supreme Commander. During university we played Supreme Commander and had LAN between everyone's. We were all in our own rooms, but we connected by cables and we had multiplayer battles. Loved those games. But since PC specs have gone up and you need kind of more and more expensive PCs to play the most recent releases, I've just kind of fallen off PC gaming altogether. But Age of Empires is now on Game Pass. It's like the anniversary edition, so I think it's been like remastered and everything. So I thought, why not give it a go? And yeah, I've been enjoying it. It works really well on a controller. I wasn't sure how it would work, like playing an RTS on a console. But so far it works really well. You haven't obviously got quite as much. You can't move as quickly as you can with a mouse, like jumping around the map. You're a bit restricted using a controller, but I haven't really noticed too much of a downside. And I haven't played online or anything. I assume you can. I don't even know if I assume you can, but I haven't. All I've been doing is playing through the single player campaign. So I've been doing the French one. I've forgotten exactly what it's called, but it's basically the one they start you on. And I am 90% of the way through that. I think I've got 2 missions left to finish off that story arc. And I do want to go in and do some of I'll go through, I think, and do all of the single player campaigns because I've been really enjoying my time with it. It's quite slow at releasing new mechanics to you, which I think is a good thing though, because I jumped into just a one-on-one battle with the computer, like not story related, just jump in and do your thing, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and the AI turned up with all of these units that I've never seen before, and I found out, I was like, oh yeah, I need to play through the story, and I realised that you have to do all the different research trees and things and different buildings to do different certain things, which makes sense. It's just I haven't played an RTS game in so long, I've kind of forgotten most of the basic systems. But I've been really enjoying my time with that, and the only reason I stopped playing that is because Starfield came out. So I was playing that for about a week, I'd say, and then Starfield released. So yeah, the next thing I've been playing for a lot of hours so far is Starfield. And I think I'm somewhere 35 hours maybe put into Starfield so far, and it's the first time in a very long time that I put in like a mega gaming session. The first day that I got my hands on Starfield, I took it to work. I mean, I work from home, I'm self-employed, so I didn't have need to book it off. I just decided I was going to have the day off, and I put 10 hours in. I had a break to have food and things obviously, but I put 10 hours into the game in one day, which I have not done that with any game in years and years and years and years. And yeah, absolutely loving my time with this game. I think I might have overdone it slightly because I've had about a week off now. I've been playing, gone back to EA Sports, PGA Tour and things, just playing some light-hearted games. I think I overdid it in that kind of 2-3 week period, but unbelievable game. I love so much about this game. The story I'm really hooked on. I'm not even completed the main story yet. I'm not sure how far through I am, but I got distracted by a side quest. I've been doing the Vanguard side missions, and I won't spoil anything, but I've put, 15 hours into that one kind of side faction mission, and I've completed that now and really enjoyed my time. I mean, that itself could be a game in my opinion. That was amazing. I've loved going off and just doing random side missions and exploring planets. I think the combat and the gunplay and everything in the game is really good. Yeah, so I'm getting to know the characters and kind of jumping between them, going on certain missions with them. I am a bit. I think I've watched quite a few reviews, and I do agree with a lot of the criticisms of space travel. So not being able to like fly to planets yourself, not being able to land on planets yourself and take off from the planet and pilot yourself out into space. I would have liked to have seen that, and I thought that was going to be the case from kind of all the build up to the game. But what everything else that the game offers, I think is more than enough to make up for not having that. And I imagine the only reason that isn't in there is because they couldn't find a way to make it work in terms of how big and vast the rest of the game is. They didn't have the computing power to make it work, I assume. So hopefully that's something that will be like in Starfield 2. But for now, I think it's absolutely fine. Yeah, the combat is so good. The range of weaponry and everything that you've got is really good, and I'm just not getting bored of the game, and that doesn't happen very often at the moment. In fact, I said I've had a few days off it playing. I'm quite a big golf fan, so I've been watching the Ryder Cup, and that made me want to play a golf game. So I've been playing EA Sports PGA Tour, but I've even playing that last night because I was playing through the career. I was like, well, I think tomorrow I'm going to be back on Starfield, so tonight I'm going to be back on Starfield, and I think I'll be on that for another few weeks, getting the main story finished, and yeah, see where we go from there. Because I've heard so many people say that like the game doesn't even really start until you finish the story, so I'm very intrigued to see what that means, and if that is the case, then I'm in for a hell of a long time in this game. And then finally, as a little side, because I was thinking I don't think I'm going to be putting a review for Starfield out, just because I wanted this game. I've been looking forward to this game for so long. I didn't want the pressure of having to write a review, like write notes and things as I was going, or record gameplay. I've just been enjoying it. But for a game to put a review out for, one from my backlog, I just did a little random game selector myself. I put all of the games on my backlog into a massive list, did a random selector, and it came out with Amped on the original Xbox. Is that up here? Oh yeah, it's there. This. So I've only put a couple of hours into it, just one evening when I felt like playing something different. I fired up the original Xbox and recorded some gameplay and played through the first couple of hours. And it's actually very nostalgic. I didn't play this first time around because I didn't have an original Xbox when the Xbox was the current console. But it reminds me so much of like SSX and like the Tony Hawk's games to a certain extent. It's a bit more sim than both of those, but I'm really enjoying my time with that. And what was that game? There was a game, I think it was called 1080 Snowboarding or something. I've forgotten what console that was on now, maybe the N64. But it reminds me of that as well. You can tell the era it's in. It's very 90s, incredibly 90s. I'm really enjoying the music. I'm really enjoying the kind of gameplay style, and it's very, so far I think it's very well made. The mountains, the runs that you can go down, I think are very well designed. I am getting frustrated at times, but it's not because of the level design, it's because of my ability. So I'm still kind of getting used to the game and what you can and can't do. And it's got that kind of light RPG where you complete challenges and sponsor rewards, and you get points that you can upgrade your character with. So I'm still quite a noob character. I can't go very fast or jump very high or spin very fast or anything. So I'm building that up, and it's getting easier and easier as I do that to perform kind of the tricks that I want to do. The only thing that I'm a little bit disappointed with is one of the things I loved with SSX is the races. But this, unless they unlock later on, I don't think they do though. This doesn't have racing. It's just all kind of points based, like doing tricks and things, which I like, I enjoy. But I especially for like a snowboarding downhill game, I do like the race events as well. So it's a bit disappointing it doesn't have that, but it is what it is, I guess. So yeah, that's what I've been playing so far. As I say, I'm going to put a review out for Amped at some point fairly soon. I think I'll be on Starfield the next few nights, and then I don't know how long it takes to finish this, but I can't imagine too long for a snowboarding game, so I'll put a few more nights into this, get that completed, because I always try and beat a game before I put a review out. So I'll beat that and put a review out. Yeah, and then going forwards, I'm going to be doing more. I think I'll do a fairly regular what I've been playing, because I think they make quite good content just to keep you up to date with what I've been playing. And I'll do some more reviews, and I think I'll alternate between like a game of choice and a random generated game, but I'll just do that behind the scenes, I think. And obviously more list videos as well. So yeah, I hope all of your gaming is going well. Let me know below if you have been playing Starfield. That's kind of the big game at the moment, isn't it? And what you think of it if you have been playing. And also, if any of you have played any of the other random games on my list, let me know what you think. I'd be surprised if anyone has, because it's quite a random list of games, but you never know. Oh, and also, thank you very much for 200 subscribers. A little mini milestone there. So welcome to all of the new subscriber, all the tens of you. But yeah, I really appreciate it. It's starting to build a little tiny amount of momentum now, the subscriber count, so I really appreciate that. 200 is a nice little milestone, and yeah, welcome to all the new subscribers. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day, and on to the next one.